Yung homeschool support center, Grace and I, okay na kami sa homeschooling. Pero alam namin na hindi enough yun eh. Sa amin, gusto talaga namin is you teach your own son, your own child. If you have the opportunity, kung kaya nyo na i-homeschool, yun yung advocate namin. I-homeschool nyo. We don't want you to enroll to us full-time. So, sa homeschooling, we avoid competition, competing only with oneself. Enough para maging masaya when they go out. We will ensure that our children develop both the skills a sound education provides and competencies essential for individual success. So we are actually a support center. Ang tuition center is focused on the grades, right? Happy Family Homeschool of Excellence, focusing on the grades and the life skills related to that grade.
Oh, that's what happens when you're live. Okay, ulitin ko. Kamusta kayong lahat? Magandang gabi. Using ko lang tong banner ng ating stream. Alright. Okay. So, Sabado ulit, meron tayong invite na isa sa mga kinikilalang leaders or pillars ng mga entrepreneurs dito sa Singapore. She is a friend of mine and I would like just to introduce her to you. But yung mga nanonood ngayon, salamat. Kung meron kayong mga questions later, lagay nyo. Comment lang kayo dyan. Okay? And I hope magiging sobrang inspiring sa ating lahat yung kwento ng ating guest. So, ang guest natin, she's the founder and managing director of the first Filipino-Run International School. O, diba? First Filipino-Run IS sa Singapore. Big time. She is also a certified public accountant in the Philippines who migrated with her family to Red Dot in 2009, a mother of 3 and a devoted wife to her husband, Gary. She's an active member of the BNG, Business Network Group in Singapore, a group of Filipino business leaders operating in a country that collaborate for the common good of our dear Kababayans. She advocates for the beautiful, #beautiful calling to help others achieve their highest potential. So, I'm gonna bring in sa ating stream ang ating guest for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the alumni community is proud to have with us Miss Ninalyn Sulit. Cacananta. So, lagi dapat kompleto yan pag binabanggit namin ng kanyang name. So, here she is. Hello, Nina. Kamusta?
Hi, magandang gabi. Magandang gabi, Obet. Magandang gabi sa lahat ng nanonood ng yung ALS TV tonight. And yeah.
Oo nga. Hindi yata nila ako kilalang Obet.
Obet,
Nalimutan
hindi
ko. Oh, yeah.
first
Medyo medyo ako sa Tinayo LSE, medyo seryoso. Robert nila ako kilala. Pero okay yun, at least alam na nila na meron akong pangalawang pangalan, right? Yan, flash lang natin yung iyong awesome na na thumbnail. So, salamat sa pagpayag mo na mag-share tonight. Yung ito kasing ginagawa natin for the community is mga maliliit lang na bagay, to inspire them, to equip them. And why I invited you kasi I know, we were connected when you were like starting, and nakita namin talaga within our circle yung parang yung dedication mo talaga na mabuo at mangyari. And I remember pinapagamit mo pa yung yung classrooms mo dati, when we do our meetings before ng ating field trips community. And it's really inspiring, and I hope, feel free to share everything na kaya mong i-share tonight. So, excited ka na ba?
Excited.
Sanay ka naman na sa live, di ba? Like, nakikitang nagla-live kaya kaya mo na yan. Okay? O, sige, iiwan na kita sa stream at ako'y magtatago muna sa backstage, and the show is yours.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Salamat, Obet. Salamat. Thank you for the opportunity that ALSE TV has given me to share our story, our happy story here. I hope that with all of the sharings that I will be giving you, I will be sharing with you for the next, I hope 15 to 15 minutes is something that worthwhile, and hope that it will inspire you to also start up your own entrepreneurship journey. So, for now, una simulan natin ano nga ba yung story? Ano yung story ng HFSE? Ano yung bakit nabuo kami? Bakit kami naging first Filipino-Run International School? So, as gaya nga ng sinabi ni Obet, ni Robert, I am a mother of 3. By then, when I was starting the HFSE, Happy Family Homeschool of Excellence pa siya, 2 lang yung anak ko. Ayan. So, my son then, Gabriel, which is who is Sec 1 right now, so that means 6 years ago, didn't got slot in the local school. So, by then, also, I have met Obet and the rest of the field trips people na, I'm starting my other business, my other company. It's actually my original company. It's NASC. So that stands for my name. That's Ninalyn Sulit - Cacananta. So when I was doing my, next startup ako sa NASC, and also I am a new mommy to a primary school, there magkaroon ng problema. And the problem is the same problem that most of the expat families, not just Filipino families, encounter up to now. It's difficult to send their kids to the local school because the government has put up a quota to the foreigners that they are able to take in. And during that time, one of the casualties is my son. And I would always say that Happy Family Homeschool of Excellence, or HFSE, is a calling. It's a ministry that I have answered. It's a calling that I have say yes. Kasi it's not my initial plan. My plan is to really start up my NASC as a sinabi nga ni Robert, I'm an accountant. So I'm a licensed as a licensed accountant in the Philippines, and I wanted to push through with that. That's something that I love doing, and I continue love doing. I love numbers. Yeah. So medyo boring, pero that's how I started. And noong time na yon, 2014, so that was almost 7 years ago, I have no choice, but we tried our best my friend Grace, we tried our best to go to the local school, to the MOE headquarters to appeal. Yan naman talaga yung ano natin, no? Yan yung lagi nating gagawin as a expat here. We just have to appeal and plea for a space here in Singapore. And unfortunately, after two visit from the MP, staying at till 12 midnight, we really cannot come in, we really cannot go in and have my son enter the local school. So well, alang choice, but there's another option. But kasi nung time na yon, syempre, nagsisimula pa lang yung isa kong company. So I cannot send my son to sa international school, which is really super, super expensive. So we tried to look for alternative, and then we found some schools who's offering a budget fees, pero the setup is not the way we want. So we still want to go with traditional. If we are going to have it there, mas prefer namin na ako na lang magturo. Total naman, it's also a blessing that I own my time. So, yun. So, doon nabuo ang pag-homeschooling. And then, 2015, that's where, yun na nga, yun na yung tawag, nagsimula na ang, I'm very spiritual person. So, I would always pray for whatever I wanted to do. Kung ano yung mga kailangan kong gawin, I will always pray and I will always seek the one who is higher than all of us here, na what should I do? Ano kailangan kong gawin with my problems and with the challenges that I'm facing. So then we decided to homeschool my son together with my goddaughter Keisha, who's also secondary or high school, first year high school back in the Philippines. Then 2015, doon yung nagsimula yung mga nakilala ko, ang field trips. That was my first networking meeting. That was June 2015, together with Marlon, Hansen, baka makalimutan ako, pero yun. And of course, si Sir Clement and Ma'am Luz. Of course, yun sila, no? That helped me to, give a little boost, kasi as an accountant who has been all her life in the front of the computer, it's very difficult for me to talk. Medyo ngayon siguro nasanay na lang, pero gawa ng pagkailangan. Pero yeah, it's very difficult for me to speak out, but it's a necessity, because if I would want my company to, survive, I need to network. So that's 2015. I as an accountant, I also did my feasibility study. So I think sa LSE, you also do this business planning, feasibility study, where you do marketing, all the plans, all the surveys, and then financial projections. So I did that because I was trained to do that when I was in college. We did one. And yun, so there is something that I am happy to apply and in real life, kasi that's something I did propose to an investor as well back in July 2015. He's a client who's also serving the Ministry of Education in Singapore, providing CCAs. But since the idea is still an idea, is still a proposal, there's no valid information or valid data to bring into the table, I was nabasted. So nabasted po ako. Niligawan ko pero busted. So ganun talaga ang buhay. So yon, nung nabasted na tayo, somehow pag ganun pala mapakiramdam na nababasted, so hindi ako tumuloy. Parang nawalan ka na. I mean, you put so many effort to put in all the data, and yet it's frustrating that hindi ka sinagot, hindi ka pinagbigyan, or hindi ka tinulungan. But of course, as someone who is always clinging to my faith, I would always believe that everything happens for a reason, and that reason is really essential, no? So nung time na around August, in between August to October, so I was like just doing my work, I have a client then also under NASE, which we have a big project. It's a big project. It's called Singapore International Jazz Festival. So something that yun yung mga social na music, and that's yun. So I focused on building my NASE then. Come October 2015, a year after what the sad news of having my son to be rejected it from the local school. Dumating na yung time na mga parents the next year, and I create during the time na na magkaroon kami ng na I was doing my feasibility study. I created a Facebook group. So isang tip yan na when you really wanted to gather the market that you wanted to to target your target market, Facebook, I mean social media is really something that you should be looking into. So maraming mga groups na ngayon sa Facebook, and there you'll be able to streamline your market. And I created the Happy Parenting in Singapore Facebook group targeting, I mean, having aim is to help one another, give suggestion, solution, help to parents in Singapore, whether it's the local school or not. So yun. And then October 2015, somebody from the group messaged na they received the bad news that I have received a year ago. And then of course, someone who is really like, hindi, okay na ako eh. During that time, I'm much on a better position a year after. I have that's 2015. I have my company, I have my pass, I have my son's dependent pass. My husband is working. I'm flexible. So saan pa? Ayun na, meron ka na eh. Yun na yung hiningi ko kay Lord. But then, someone who is also obedient to His will, I would say that He spoke to me through a friend who is Grace, na after like 4 parents who's posting din, hindi na nila alam gagawin nila, baka isa nila sa Pilipinas, ayaw nila mahiwalay. So, I mean, bilang someone na Filipino who you know the solution to their problem, but you don't want to do it, but God wants you to do it. So I have no choice but to answer the call. And when my friend Grace told me na, Nina, i-meet up mo na sila, I met them up in McDonald's ang Mokyo. And then the rest is history. So November of 2015, that's where HFSE was incorporated. Ang bilis ng pangyayari. In 2 months' time, I was able to gather the funds. I was able to get the location that we need. Maybe not the location that we really want, but what that we can use. And then yun na. So nabuo yung Happy Family Homeschool with 24 kids. 20 is primary 1 and 4 is P2. And it's the roller coaster ride begins. Yan. So the challenges of starting up your own school in Singapore, I think in terms of putting up a business or setting up a corporate entity here, it's quite easy, comparable to our home country because everything is online, and it's streamlined to a very, very robust system na meron tinatawag nilang BIS file. So easy lang yung pagse-set up. What is difficult is the day-to-day operations, because it's like you're dealing with people, you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with human. So yan yung mga so which is subject to emotions, subject to different personalities, and that's the challenge that I would say na mahirap setting up as a corporate. Even applying for the license in CPE, which is where we are under the Committee on Private Education, is easier. I mean, it's quite technical. You just have to go through with the process, the procedure that is stated in the website. Thereafter, everything is all as long as you follow the procedure, it's easy. It would be easy for you. So I think it's all the same with all the agencies here in Singapore. That's why I love doing business here, 'di ba? Siyempre, ano, na nandun na tayo ang puso natin. And I really am blessed to have my first company, which is NASC, established here. And second company is HFSE. Because it's easy for me to be able to put up. And side kwento is why I put up, bakit ang lakas ng loob ko na mag-put up ng NASC Global, hindi naman ako PR or hindi ako Singaporean. So I was working in a company in 2012. They're also, this is an expat Caucasian boss. And I, of course, as someone who is really, focused on building, in the future, I wanted to establish my own business. Isang tip while you are employed is get to know, especially if you're in an SME, get to know the ins and outs of your company, of the company that you are serving. Kasi that's something that is essential. Kung anong binigay sa'yo ng boss mo, sige, gawin mo lang. Kasi that was something na was very useful for me. Either it's an admin work, it's an IT job, I even coded through a platform for trading company that. So parang pinag-aralan ko. So I was able to like others in and out, at least yung basic. So, and of course, yun nga, bakit ba ako nagtayo ang lakas-lakas na lobo, ang kapal-kapal ng mukha ko na nagtayo, wala naman akong pera. Kasi, yung boss ko naman, they have their own, yun lang talaga, yung lakas ng loob. And that's something that sa entrepreneurship, you need to have. Kung wala ka pa, mag-pray ka lang kay Lord na bigyan mo ako ng lakas ng loob. And you need to have that a lot. So, marami kang bulsa, dagdagan mo yan. Sa mga bag mo, lagyan mo din ng lakas ng loob. Kasi entrepreneurship is not for the weak of the heart, sabi nga nila, diba? Kasi there will be challenges, and challenges that, of course, it's not necessarily, bakit ko ba ito pinasok ko? Kasi yun yung, challenges na you will help you to achieve a better you and achieve what you really want to have. So sa HFSE, I have been telling the team, currently we started with 5, now we are more than 30. I think it's almost 40 team members that we have. Virtual, I advocate for work at home, flexible home, kahit saan pwede ka magtrabaho. So we have virtual team members, and we have part-time team members who, have different priorities. And full-time, of course, someone who really needs the extra financial reward, ganyan. So, yun. So, the challenges really mostly are a day-to-day operation is you just have to do it day by day. So, what keeps me running a school is not an easy task. Comparing to NASC, once you complete a task or once you complete a project, it's done. In a school, you have to really, it's not non-stop job. Because you have to cater for the children, for the students, and you have to ensure that your team members are well taken care of. And of course, the parents are happy. So there's so many people that you are serving, and it's difficult, but it's also fulfilling, especially when you see the kids getting better year after year. And we have kids who has been like that, and not just kids in HFSE, but the kids who went to the local school. And we are really proud of what we were made of difference to their lives and to their family. So bakit ko how I'm able to sustain the 5 years, even if it's a roller coaster ride. I have a network of business-like people who I can run to, ask for advices, or even just a soundboard to listen to what I need to say. Kasi being at the top, they say it's slowly at the top, diba? And you will feel that when you're already on the journey, on your entrepreneurship journey. So you really need a network who understand where you're coming from, a network that gives you advices, who has been there. who has been there. And I'm very blessed, as sabi ko nga, it's a calling for me, and God has put in the people I need at the particular time, at the particular moment. And specifically now that I belong in a business network group. Simplihan lang natin ang business network. It's a group of Filipino companies coming together for one advocacy to help one another, help the Filipino community here in Singapore. And we have been doing that since 2018. Actually, yung Happy Run namin, Fun Run, BNG Fun Run, is something that, just to gather different people from all walks of life, from the ates to the professionals, to the higher level of our community. So I really feel blessed na meron akong someone who I can always talk, ask, and it's essential, especially when you're an entrepreneur. Of course, yan. Finding the right people is, yun nga, siguro I would say na favorite ako ni Lord. I have a lot of challenges. I have a lot of problems day after day. Medyo, and it's inevitable, and I'm really used to it na. But the thing is, although it's more of a personal faith I want to share with, I always believe in divine connection. He will give you the people that you need, and I have everything that I need. In particular, my advisors, because I'm an accountant. I didn't have any experience with putting up a school, so everything comes in with the advices, and of course, dun sa advices naman yun, what the purpose of advice is they give you advice, but they let you decide. Yan. So, at the end of the day, when you look for an advisor, which is, I think, a mentor, someone who has been there, or someone who, as a business person as well, whether it's in a school setup or in the industry that you are in. Of course, it's better that it's in an industry that you are in. Pero more of like, find someone who you have, merong kang kapalagayan ng loob. Kasi kakausapin mo siya, hihingahan mo siya, and that person will be giving you advices. And I'm blessed to have that. She's a Singaporean. What we call her, I call her Mother Superior. She's really someone who's really an angel coming from heaven, and she gives me insights. She gives me all the possible options, but she lets me decide. So when you grow your network, try to find a mentor from that, because it humbles you that your whatever your achievement may be, it may have a very big achievement for others, but looking into your mentor, layo ko pa pala. So it gives you that humility, and it challenges you that you still have a lot of marami ka pang kakaining bigas yung ngayon. So ayan. So, and of course, there's some other na you have to really force yourself to go and to, get outside. Ngayon, medyo hirap tayo. But Zoom, there's a lot of Zoom networking events, and I would, I encourage you to join, especially if it's something that is within the industry that you're looking to go into. Yan. So, ang difference kasi and on the other hand naman, setting up a school here, I don't have any experience of putting up a school in the Philippines, but I have an experience putting up a business in the Philippines. Actually, it was a franchise. The purpose of it is also, I have planned of, having a franchise for HFSE. So, sa mga gustong mag-franchise, ay lang po. I have a plan of having a franchise for HFSE, and that's something that I put up because I want to experience how franchising goes. Yun talaga. Siguro that's how I work. I want to know what's the in and out. So when I decide to a particular venture, I am fully decided na when I say yes, it's a yes. Walang iwanan, walang quitter. Yung parang, I will not quit, and I will not, when I decide to say yes, I'll proceed and until it's completed. So yun, it's easier here, I have to say. It's easier here to put up a business. Actually, uh, I have NASE Global, I have HFSE International School. HFSE International School gave birth to HFSE Young Starters. It's a preschool arm of the HFSE International School. And there, meron din akong binili na another company which is called PJLC, Planet J Learning Center. It's an after-school care that, a Singaporean offered me to buy. And of course, there's a need for me to have it. That's why I bought it. So it's all when we need it, God give us what we really need. So that's four companies that I have as of now. So yan, and more to come ba, sabi ni Bobet. Ayan, so that's yan. So ang last tip ko na lang for parents, being not just as a founder but as a mother. So ang my son is already in secondary 1. We started secondary 1 in HFSE. I asked my son, would you like to go to the local school, or would you like to try? I mean, you would like to try the local school or you go to HFSE? Isa sa parenting style ko is to let my son decide for his own, especially that he's turning 13. He's a teenager. He knows what he wants. It's just that mine is guidance. So, pero doon sa mga naghahanap ng primary school or even young preschool, based on my experience as a mother, I would always go, of course, yung sa values that school is giving. In HFSE, I'm very privileged that whatever values I want for my son, actually, I have my primary one, second born son in HFSE. My firstborn is in the local school. Whatever I want to teach my son, andun niya yung value. So it's aligned, it's connected with the faith. I'm a Catholic, but I'm a Christian also. So sabi ko nga sa kanila, but we are open to other faith. It's just that someone who believes in a higher being. And of course, yung quality of education, quality of teachers, dedication. So sa mga, and I encourage you to always ask the current parents, those who are staying with that school, to know why they are staying. Of course, if you want to also know, on the other hand, nobody's perfect. Everything is work in progress. So those who left the school, you can at least have a 360 view of what the school really is. So ang yun yung advice ko to all those parents who's looking for the perfect, or I mean not perfect, for the right fit of a school for their kids. Kasi when I was a student, parang sabi ko, okay lang kahit anong school, yan. So parang for me, it's really not essential until I become a mom, and until I realized that when my parents sent me to a school, to a bigger school when I was in high school, doon ko na realize na it's very essential, it's very important that you really find the right fit of school in relation to your family values. Yan. Some parents look for the academics, but mine, as this is more of my personal principle, I would always look into the behavior and attitude. So technical skills can be learned even after school. So the behavior has to be is coming in from the start. So it's better that your child knows it's the human existence na maging tao para sa tao. So that's the school is a production of what we call global citizens, especially now that we are all migrants families already, especially here in Singapore. Yan and I'm on the last page na, opportunities for Filipino entrepreneurs in Singapore. Being in Singapore for the past almost 12 years, I have seen the Singapore community grow, especially the Filipino community. When I was still employee, bahay work, bahay lang kami. And of course, I still, because I have a son, I would go sa mga sa mga parks and amusement centers. But when I ventured to entrepreneurship, that opened the door of so many opportunities, not just for the business, but for to meet people of inspiration. Yun. So I am inspired. That's why I was able to do all the things that, I needed to do. So maraming tao talaga na I have met, especially yung mga BNG na ngayon yung parang si Miss Lila of Noble Life, si Miss Christy of PNB who's very supportive as well, si Miss Sha, how I can have to dress well, how at the position of my how I pose, how I present myself. Si Miss S is a friend also, who support our advocacy, and Sir Joey na he's very encouraging, and you need to find your circle. Someone who will give you the urge, the support that you need to push you further to your goal, to your mission, and to your vision of your whatever business that you wanted to put in. Yon. So, yan. So, I hope that you were able to, learn. Kung meron kayong tanong, feel free to, post your questions, and I will be very, very happy to answer that and share with you as to the best of my ability sa aking experience sa pagtatayo ng school in Singapore. Yan. Thank you, Robert.
Galing, grabe. Bumibili ka na ngayon ng bumibili ka na ngayon ng company, Dati, kape lang namin dati ang binibili mo, Yung company na ang binibili mo. No? Anyway, salamat sa yung sharing, and what's about what we are doing is the community still gets to watch this on replay kasi we have this on YouTube and on our private group. And gusto ko yung sinabi mo sa last part na inspiration, yung talagang mahalaga na inspired ka sa yung ginagawa mo kasi yun yung talagang magiging drive mo Tsaka lalo na nung binanggit mo yung importante ng humanity, no? That's really good. As an entrepreneur myself, we all need to be reminded about that concept na it's all about making other people's lives better. If you really want to earn money, if you do the enough hard work, talagang kikita ka naman ng pera, pero not to the point na you would bring down people on, alam niyo, syempre, di ba? I mean, marami tayong nababasa, nakikita na gano'n talagang lalay ang company nila, but up to what anong cost, di ba? So gusto ko lang pick upin sa iyo. Meron kasi although I don't know the 100% na, pero nung early days andon magkakasama tayo nun. Pero may time ba na ka na almost mag-quit? Yun talaga, honestly. Parang parang hindi na mangyayari school, ayoko na. Naisip mo ba yung ganun?
Most of the time, especially when you're tired. But yun nga, syempre, you will always hold to your, siguro yung sabi ni Simon Sinek, yung is a motivational speaker. Start with your why. But there's one thing, where's another motivational speaker, si Francis Kong, sabi niya, start with who? Sabi niya ganun. So doon ako humuhawak, so humuhugot ng mga lakas na. But mine is, I combine them. It's, go back with your why. And, start with who, go back with your why. You always have to go back why you first started. Kasi there will be a lot, and I will say a lot, 100, kasi siguro 5 years na yung HFSE. So that's 5 times 5. So there's a lot of days wherein you feel like giving up. And of course, I will not hide this from the people I serve, because there's really exhaustion. There's really some because you have to, in a calling, I would say that entrepreneurship is a calling. The advocacy that really where we started, gusto natin talaga tumulong, we focus on what we really want to, set aside the money matters, but what we really want to, and the money will follow. Pero there's a lot of instances, and I would say until today na ganun talaga, and you have to embrace that. You have to to accept it, that it's part of your calling as an entrepreneur to deal with this kind of challenges. And sabi din ni Sir Joey Gorango, 'di ba? Entrepreneurship is possible, but with God, it's possible. It's always going back to who created you, why you started, and that helps me to cling on and hang. Maraming time. Maraming time that I really give up. But, syempre, yun nga, silver, sabi ni Catriona, the silver lining would always emerge diyan.
I think yun yung pinaka-exactong word that would really define entrepreneurship, yung ginamit mo, which is calling, like hindi ako, sobrang familiar ako dyan kasi I myself, nung sinarap yung company ko, more than a decade ago here in Singapore, evolved na siya kasi dati may demand pa sa mga web designer at graphic designer time na yon. Pero kung nag-stick ako doon, I don't think, I would have survived until today na ang work na ginagawa ko na for my clients now is nandun na ako sa level as a consultant. Pero if there's a need to create content pa rin, pero what I'm adding value is to be a consultant to this company. Kaya lang yung sinabi mo talaga na calling. Kasi, di ba? Napaka-tempting talagang yung may trabaho ka, no, yung fix. Pero hindi kasi sinasabing masama or hindi maganda yung 9 to 5 ka. Pero sobrang tempting na meron kang fixed na sweldo, di ba? Secure ka. Pero yung when you're trying to build something, lalo na yung ginawa mo which is a school, and hindi biro yun na ikaw yung first na Filipino, IS sa Singapore, I could imagine talaga na marami kang sleepless nights eh. Pag pinasabihin kong ilan. Kasi ako, I'm not dealing with compliance, right? I'm not dealing with, yung ang business, ang workspace ko, hindi kailangan ganito. Sabi ng government, ganito, di ba? Pero sobrang hirap din ang pinagdaanan. Pwede lalo ka na kasi, aside from the cash flow, di ba? Aside from managing the people, aside from convincing parents na mag-enroll sa'yo, di ba? Ang kakompete mo, talagang mga established na mga school. Tapos, alam mo yun, tapos pagod na pagod ka. Tapos, magpapasok ka na. Siguro may time na magpapasok ka na. Ilan pa lang yung student ko. Pero, ang ganda ng simula mo kasi di ba sabi mo kanina, 24, no? 24 students na nag-start. Tama ba? Yun yung una-una. Yes. Andan pa ba kayo sa ano ba yung lugar na pinuntahan namin ng school mo? Andan pa ba? Yun pa rin ba yung building nyo?
We still have the original branch na I still keep it. Meron pa akong doon. Meron pa akong sepangs. Meron pa akong sentimental value. Hindi pa namin kasi yung kontrata namin.
Pero sana yung school mo ngayon ba, Vale? Saan na siya located?
We're operationally located in Mountbatten Center. The one that I think LSE had party.
Oo. Nasa Pilipinas ako ngayon. Hindi ako nakatid ng party na yun dati.
Ayun,
yun nga. I heard.
Doon kami nag-i-expand kasi there's opportunity to expand yun kasi it's a building that we have. The second floor na inoccupy namin. So yun, doon kami so nangunguha kami pag merong umalis, amin yan, ganyan. So yun, doon kami meron.
Kababanggit mo lang ng ng expand. Ngayon na may formula ka na, definitely meron ka ng formula na nakatago yan somewhere. Alam mo na paano magtayo ng school. Wala ka bang paano mag-expand sa ibang bansa? Kasi syempre, kailangan din sa ibang bansa rin yung ginawa mo, di ba? Definitely. Kasi intindihan ko yung model mo ng ng parang yung you're also trying to replicate yung experience talaga ng paano ang pag-aaral ng isang Pilipino, no, sa isang classroom na kaya nga pangalan mo happy. I don't know, sa mga school dito, I'm not sure kung talaga mga happy talaga yun. Kasi ang susungit nila na kasi mga sila palagi. Pero ito, tayo sa Pilipinas, Japan, nag-aaral tayo that 80% kalokohan talaga 20%, not kalokohan, 80% na masaya, enjoy. So, wala ka bang balang na, kunyari, mag-start ka na sa Japan, sa Taiwan, di ba, Australia?
it's on the pipeline. It's
Yun.
just it's on the pipeline. It has been.
Manawagan ka na, baka kailangan mo ng investor. Maraming mayayaman dito sa sa Ateneo community.
Po kayo sa mga nanonood mga manonood pa. It's on the pipeline. Actually marami talagang interested to, okay, ganyan. The same question that you have raised. It's just that I will always take it slow. We want to build the foundation of the school as solid as possible. Para when we expand, all our systems are in place or our policies are in place. It's easier for us to set up to branch out to some other place here or to branch out overseas. Kasi there's really a need. There's a really a demand to expand. Kasi I just to give you, meron nag-approach sa akin last year. Yeah, last year nga ba? Yeah, may nag-approach sa akin last year na it's an expat. So, it's a Caucasian who owns a school as well na, binenta ko yung school ko. I have a lot of money. I want to buy your school. So, parang medyo, medyo aggressive. But, yun, pero you have to, parang if I would focus on the money, it's easy money. Kasi, bebenta ko. Ikaw na bahala dyan. But I would always go with what the long, you always have to stick with your vision na bakit mo ba talaga sinimulan. Mas mayayaman ako pag doon ako na mag-stick ako rather than he buy me at a small amount. Pero more than the money itself, I mean, it's the pleasure I get from day to day. Of course, there's a challenge that makes me sleepless at night, but it's the fulfilling part is it's resolved. I moved on. And I was able to know, to parang for now, I would say na, hindi na ako si Nina nakakalala mo, but I mean, since 2015. I'm a different person now na I have gained experience. That is the non-monetary value of entrepreneurship. And of course, kaya nga meron tayo na moving forward when you really have at least siguro 5 to 10 years of experience, you really can mentor someone na who wants to start up. And yun, honestly speaking, meron na rin mga other schools who's catering to Filipino community na who has put their dream school here in Singapore. So I am really happy na merong ganun, na may na-inspire na to, na magsimula ng kanilang school. Yan.
Movement kasi, actually, yung sinimulan mo, it's a movement parang, yeah, you're starting a business, but it's also a call to join a movement, diba? Na yung ibang mga nationality, pwede rin nilang gawin yung style na ginawa mo, diba? Kasi, right, there's also a demand for them, no? Yung community nila, dali nila rito yung kultura ng pag-aaral ng community nila. Pwedeng di ba? Yung kung ma-patent mo na yung formula mo, di sa'yo na sila magpaturo, di ba? Meron na sila HFSE Indonesia, parang gano'n naman. Pero para sa mga Indonesian, di ba? Indonesian target market nila. Pero anong mas naging challenging ba sa'yo? Yung corporate service company mo o yung school?
The school. Without a doubt.
Oo nga. Kasi ako may naging client ako na dalawa na preschool. Yung latest ko na naging client yung Shaw's. Alam mo yung Shaw's preschool, mga yayamanin mga nag-aaral doon. So nag-shoot ako doon, talagang na-stress ako. Grabe, sabi ko, ang grabe ang mga teacher. Makakatagal ka maghapon na yung ganong environment sa mga preschool. Na-stress ako, 3 oras lang ako doon hindi naman nila mapapanood ko 3 oras lang ako doon, nag-shoot doon ako punta ako ng 5 yung campus nila sa Singapore. Nag-jump ako from one campus to another para mag-shoot. Grabe. Hindi ko kaya yung gulo ng mga bata. May tumbling, merong kinukulayan yung mukha ng kaklase niya, tapos kasabay may umiiyak, tapos meron daw pupunta ng toilet. Sabi ko, grabe, ang saya, pero hindi ko kaya yung ganong environment. Buti yung sa'yo, medyo malalaki na ng mga estudyante mo, no? Anong edad na ba yung sa'yo?
P1 to Sec 1. Pero yung
medyo ayos-ayos na yon. Wala ka pa lang, ibig sabihin wala kang preschool.
Meron pa. Meron yan yung bago namin HFSE Young Starters. Difficult yung sa primary one. I mean, it's difficult transition not just for us but for the kids themselves na kasi from play-based na preschool, usually they're not focused with the academics, with the exam, the
Mm.
quizzes. They have to transform and parang they have to really parang have a level higher. So, yan. Of course, as a parent, ganun din yung magulang. You have to level up kasi magtuturo ka naman ng batang mag-e-exam. So,
Mm.
it's same noise. It's also a music to my ear na. Parang nasanay na, saya. May umiyak, ay, okay yan, ganyan. So, parang, but for the past 5 years, it's the same. This year, sobrang happy kami. Actually, I have talked to the leaders team namin and of course all the team na ano nangyari, may exam ba? Kasi pag may exam tahimik lang. And for the first, I mean, we just concluded our first week of academic year and sobrang tahimik, parang hindi mga Pilipino yung mga nakaanan. Bakit mga matahimik sila? Pero although of course we are proud of for the kids, we call them HFSEans for the mission of uplifting the ASEAN culture. This year, we were able to, God has given us someone who is very also patriotic, uplifting the culture of Filipino back in the Philippines. So si Teacher Anne, she's a dance teacher, and her husband is a music teacher. They served nagwo-work yung asawa niya sa Singapore Bible College. And yun nga, nagtuturo na they advocate for the indigenous cultures. Yung si Mr. Palaruan, he's from Igorot. I mean, he's an Igorot from Ifugao. So yun, so nakakatuwa na the kids here, our kids, the Filipino, find their root at the least na meron sila, this is where I belong. Kasi these are the third, ano man tawag niya doon? Third world. Hindi naman third generation kids na. Kasi like us, we're expat. And my kids are expat din, pero they live here. They grew up here, but they are not Singaporean. So, there is a sense na naghahanap sila ng roots. So, and then we were able to get that. I mean, provide that. Yan.
Tapos, pag umuwi sila, para credited yung mapapag-aralan nila sa HFSE, di ba? Kunyari, for good. Tapos, tumigil sila rito, let's say, ng P3 o P2. Tama ba? Credited yon. Di ba dati yung pagit po, parang kumukuha ng accreditation din sa ano ba yung school, sa CHED is higher, di ba? Ano ba yung sa baba? Walang CHED.
DepEd.
CHED kasi high school, tama, di ba? CHED is high school. DepEd yung
high school then yung DepEd. CHED is the college, university.
Tapos yun, meron ka ba, natuloy ba yung ginagawa mo na accreditation na gano'n dati? Mga subjects mo.
That's another route that we intend to take before. Pero since based on sa DepEd officer din na nakausap namin, it's not necessary for us to be registered an internationals or a Filipino school in the accredited by DepEd. Kasi one is, there's a very, very big requirement which is we cannot do here in Singapore na kailangan all teachers are Filipino, has license in the Philippines, ganyan. So which is not, hindi natin magagawa kasi meron tayong quota, ganyan, unless all are Filipino. So as an international school registered in a committee on private education here in Singapore, it's just under the umbrella of Ministry of Education. We are already recognized. Even we have kids who migrated from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, from all over the world actually. Now in Europe, meron kaming isang
natuloy nila yung schooling nila.
Yeah, they were able to continue. I mean, seemingly, parang smoothly continue their studies. And of course, maraming bumalik sa Philippines for good. So that's where the route is. Why I put up HFSE? Why we adopted Singapore English and Math, because we give an option for the parents na if they really want to go to the local school, the kids are prepared. And then if they wanted to go back in the Philippines, it's also that at least meron silang alam mag-Tagalog, baka deadmahin sila ng mga Pilipino doon. Tapos, yun na. So, as an international school, it's also a credit, especially now that we, edu hub. Singapore is trying to be an edu hub of Asia. So, yun. So, it's really a good positioning for HFSE na we started here. I mean, it's a blessing that we started HFSE here in Singapore.
Oo, Singapore talaga pagdating sa education, kung ano pinagagawa nila. Kasi ngayon, kinuha ko ng familiar ka ba sa NTUC Learning Hub? So, yung parang mga nawalan ng trabaho or mga in transition sila from one career to the next career. So, kinuha nila ako as a trainer doon. So, I'm teaching dalawa, papasok na sa 3 subjects. They are like, nag-aaral sila ng 9 months. No? Tapos binabayaran sila ng government na mag-aral. Kasi nga, wala silang work or in transition sila. Ganyan ng government dito may bayad. Mag-aral ka, ipasa mo lang yung exam, tapos yung attendance, ipasa mo din yung required attendance. Tapos at the end of the month, meron silang paycheck. Kailan mag-aaral, natututo na sila ng libre, may paycheck pa sila. Alam mo, pauso mo yun, di ba? Pag marami ka ng pera, yung mag-aaral, bibigyan mo naman sila ng
Pwede.
Sila na nag-aaral, may bayad sila. Grabe sa amin, sa atin sa Pilipinas, no? Talagang suka ka ng dugo, ikaw kailangan magbayad ng inaaral mo. Anyway, salamat sa pagpunta mo sa pag-guest mo. Kung pero kasi mapapanood po to sa replay, saan kanila pwedeng kontakin? Kunyari, maisip nila na okay yun dalhin ko yan ako doon na paano, di ba may website ka, di ba? Ano bang website mo?
So if you want to know more about HFSE, just visit our website www.hfse.edu.sg. So, and of course, we have our Facebook page. It's HFSE International. All our postings are there. If you want to reach out to me for anything, not just to school related, but so setting up the business, you can contact me and you can email me at ninalyn.cacananta@gmail.com. So it's my personal email. I will personally serve you. So I still have my NASE Global. That's servicing accounts and admin. So I still have clients on that. And yun, so in terms of corporate matters, in terms of accounting matters, in terms of business setup, I'd be gladly to help you if you really are ready. Of course, if you're not ready, I will still help you. Find your readiness. Help you with your readiness. Yun. So, you can search me on Facebook as well, Ninalyn Sulit Cacananta. You can
friend ko si Nina, mahanap niyo siya sa friend list ko. Tapos, dapat pala humingi ko sa ilang email address, no? Para murang bayad ko sa Adobe. Ano ba ang mahal-mahal ng Adobe? Pero pag may edu.sg na email, ang laki-laki ng discount. Grabe. Nag-subscribe ba kayo doon? Kasi mura pag .edu.sg ang email. So, alam ko, hindi basta-basta makakuha yan. Ang domain na yan, di ba?
Oo. You have to register din, it has to be approved.
Yeah, so yun, congrats. Ang layo-layo na nung narating ni Nina, buti nagkaroon pa siya ng time na sumali rito sa ating live stream. yung BNG, sino ba mga pwedeng sumali? Kasi meron din kasi community namin, meron ng mga nag-start din ng business dito. Ano ba yun? Free for all ba yun? May hazing ba yun? May audition ba yun? Kasi ako, hindi niyo ako sinasali doon grabe ka, di man lang ako.
Sige. Ipaparating natin yan sa kinauukulan. Bakit mo hindi ini-interview si Oben?
Isama niyo dyan sa BNG niyo. Hindi, marami rin kasing may negosyo na nasa community namin. Baka benefit din sila ron, di ba? Makapagdagdag din, may input sila ron or matulungan sila, di ba? Paano ba ang pagsali ron?
Sige, sabihan
by
ko.
Invite.
By invite. Yan, exclusive sila. Medyo exclusive pa kami. Pero but definitely when we are ready as an organization, as a business network group, someone who we really intend to help out the other businesses to, thrive here in Singapore. So, lang kasi ngayon nag-pandemic, but definitely we have plans. We have plans of having affiliate members of BNG.
Sige, mag-aantay ako ng invitation mo. Ikaw dapat mag-invite sa akin din sa BNG. Yun. Anyway, thank you, Nina. Maraming salamat. I will not take much of your time. And kung nilagay natin yung yung website mo naman dyan, if there's any follow-up din. And syempre, pag they reach out to me, i-diretso ka sila sa'yo na maliit lang naman yung commission na may commission ka naman pagka
Sure.
merong nirefer sa joke lang. Joke lang, nadali tuturo ko talaga sa'yo na dyan na siya sa inyo mag-enroll. So, yun. Maraming salamat. Meron ka ba gustong pasalamatan? Mga fans mo, i-shout out mo. Si Tessa, nag-join siya kanina. Kung nandyan pa siya ngayon. Nanonood siya. Dito siya sa
First and foremost, I would like to thank, syempre, yung LSE and of course, you, Robert, Obet, kung ano man gusto mong tawag, for inviting me here for help. Parang, it's always an opportunity. Actually, sinasabi ko sa sarili ko, it's my obligation to share the story of HFSE. Kailangan ko siyang i-share. That story is something that has to be known kasi if I won't be able to share this, it's still part of the calling that we all have. Entrepreneurship is something that it's a platform to give platform to the other callings that other people have, like especially in my position, teaching. So their teaching is also a calling. It requires very much greater patience. So maraming salamat of course sa lahat ng mga sumuporta for the past 5 years of HFSE. We have just recently celebrated our milestone, and we're looking forward to, having everyone be part of our school community. It's a growing community of happy families, as sinasabi ko. And we are really looking forward na for you to be part of HFSE. We have big plans, very big plans. So medyo ambitious plans that we have in here. So just wait for us in pag once na we are ready to launch the HFSE Global Education Group. We'll definitely inform the Ateneo LSE, so you can also be part of that particular.
Pwede naman mag-collaborate kasi we're in the same Filipino community.
Yeah.
And guys, I tell you, kung nakita niyo si Nina nung nag-start pa lang siya, the questions that she asked sa community namin, pag yung mga workshop, makikita mo talaga gano'n siya ka-intense, gano'n siya ka-interesado. And now, after years na mula nun, nakita naman natin lahat, ito na yung school. Kailan ba ang anniversary niyo, Bale? Kailan ba kayo mag-celebrate?
November 23.
November?
23.
Matagal-tagal pa. Ay, gawan na natin yan ng documentary film na may astig, di ba? Para masaya. Yeah.
Pwede.
Collaboration work yan, di ba? Anyway, thank you ha, Nina. Ingat ka and God bless you more, and pati ang iyong mission, ang iyong calling sa tinayo mong eskwelahan. And I believe, because of the nature of the work that you put in your faith in God, wala ka pa sa kalingkingan ng mga ng pagdadalan talaga sa iyo ni Lord dyan sa project mo na binigay niya sa iyo. Kaya I'm proud to have been part of your network and to have worked with other projects na kasama ka. Sayang hindi ko pala nasentong link sa mga sa chat group natin ng Brown Seed sa channel. Sila Marlon. Anyway, sisend ko sa kanila yung replay para makita nila. Sige, salamat. And dito na tayo magtatapos. See you next week. Inisip natin sino ang guest natin next week. I-announce ko na lang. And thank you for watching. And those who are watching the replay, mag-subscribe kayo. Bisitahin nyo ang website ng hfse.edu.sg. Hanapin nyo lang si Ninalyn Sulit. Pag tinype nyo na yung Ninalyn Sulit, baka marong spelling kayo sa apelido. Pag nyo na yung Ninalyn Sulit, siya lang yung lalabas doon dahil most likely common friends siya ng mga friends niyo dito sa Singapore. Kaya, thank you. And good night, everyone. We're just gonna end our broadcast in a